Hello, and welcome to the episode 2 of Recovery Life. Thank you for joining us. Today, we are joined by Steve Hills and Cottrell Lewis, who are both peer recovery specialists at Chesapeake Integrated Behavioral Health. And I am Christine Winter. I am also a peer recovery specialist at CIBH. Again, we thank you for joining us. And today our topic is diversity. It is a great theme of Year of the Peer, and it's a very wide-ranging theme, isn't it, Steve?
It really is. It's a theme that really is a hallmark of who we are as peer recovery specialists. I'm so glad that it's one of the emphases that Year of the Peer decided to focus on, and we even see it in our logo, don't we? I mean,
absolutely. It's not just a feature of the logo. It is indicative of the topic of diversity, and
right. We see that that rainbow color in the logo, and it's not just because it artistically looks nice, but it really represents the diverse backgrounds we come from.
It is a very clever design of that logo, and it definitely shows diversity, doesn't it?
And there are a lot of types of diversity.
Yes, it is.
Even as the logo shows, and it's so much more complex than even that. There's so many types, for example, diversity in race and ethnicity, diversity in culture, diversity in disability.
Yes. Also, we're diverse with our religion, age, and gender.
Right.
And some of these disabilities are invisible.
Yeah.
And people can feel unrepresented. But that is also a part of, the diversity of people that we see. And I speak from experience of that. And I think others do too.
Right. Not every part of diversity is immediately apparent.
Right.
Some of it is external, but even that has internal implications. And then some diversity you can't see right off. We think of diversity in sexual orientation, diversity in gender identity, so many different things. And, even as a veteran, there's diversity in veteran status and veteran experience.
Absolutely. Cottrell, I think you can agree with that, right?
I really can. I think diversity is one of our strengths. It allows us to be non-judgmental and accepting of each other. And we come from a wide variety and a wide range of backgrounds, and we bring that lived experience to the table with the peers that we serve.
Absolutely.
It's totally, it's a time to celebrate.
Absolutely. We see that our communities around us have become increasingly diverse. Think about what our communities were like, 10, 20, 30 years ago and what they're like now. And we as peer recovery specialists reflect that diversity, come out of that diversity. And not only have our communities gotten more diverse, but also sometimes those marginalized voices that have been silent. And, I'm thinking especially since this is Pride Month about some of our LGBTQ+, transgender community that have been marginalized and their voices are finally being heard. Well, peers are coming out of and reflecting that diversity as well.
Yes.
Yes, Steve, I really can agree with your assessment about how wide-ranging diversity is, and also, Cottrell, how, your comments that also definitely connect to Steve, what he had to say, especially mentioning Pride Month, which is very important.
Yes, I think that as we continue to rally around our peers, we are creating a community of inclusion with
exactly.
People are able to express themselves. We are able to advocate more for our peers, and their voices are being heard. Like you were talking about,
Absolutely.
Sometimes people are marginalized, and as peers, we can use our lived experience to rally and help advocate them so they can get their rights.
We make that connection.
Yes, we do.
And in that making that connection, we are advocating. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, because, the one non-negotiable And I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but the one non-negotiable of being a peer recovery specialist is that lived experience. But other than that, we come from so many different communities and are reflective of those communities, and not only different communities, but different recovery paths. And so we can also champion supporting people in finding a recovery path that fits for them,
Right.
and is reflective of them in all of their diversity. It really is a great time to be a peer recovery specialist.
It really is.
Yes.
We're diverse, and I think that's a great strength we bring to the table.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, and like you were saying, Steve, regardless of the pathway that someone has chosen, as peers, we use our lived experience to lift them up, rally around them, and support them and inspire them to be their best.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, Steve, and thank you, Cottrell, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Recovery Life. Thank you to Chesapeake Television. Please join us again next time when we explore another theme of Year of the Peer 2023. And again, thank you for joining us.